Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another rendition of What You Should Be Watching with me, Brad Fitzpatrick, and my ever so lovely co host, Zach Washburn. Say hi, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
So, Zach, how was your week this week?
It's been great so far.
It's good. You have a nice day. It was nice and warm outside.
It was great. Yeah, I got to take my boy out and played outside a little bit. It was nice.
Good. You didn't roll him down any hills, did you?
Oh yeah, I did.
I mean, good, good. On that segue, we're going to be talking about martial arts movies today. We had lots of other stuff lined up, but I figured at this point in time, martial arts movies would be a great rendition. I am a big martial arts fan. Zach, not so much, but he should have something in his bag of tricks, wouldn't you, Zach?
I do.
Good.
Yeah, I'm always going to have something for what you talk about, but a little out of my element. Mine are going to be more mainstream probably than yours will. But hey, they're still got martial arts in them.
Good, good. Well, I mean, in reality, like we can sit here and actually talk about the reason why martial arts is so predominant in its field. Because if I tell everybody else I am actually Asian, I mean, you can tell, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so I have very deep roots in all that culture. But without further ado, Zach, how about you on your number fifth martial arts movie?
Number five is going to be yeah, the Matrix trilogy.
You're gonna add all three in there, or just number one?
No, I'll add all three.
Okay, good.
Uh,
Because number one obviously is the best one out of all three of them.
I
But
would
you,
agree.
but you can't have just the one because I mean all three of them has the basic story. But number one was really it. That was it. Like
Yeah, especially for the martial arts stuff. They had more of
yeah.
the, fighting and stuff.
I
Yeah,
always
I more of a sci-fi movie, but had a lot of kung fu in it, and it's good special effects. I thought it had great fight scenes, and I would consider it a martial arts film.
and so do I. I greatly Yuan Wu Ping was actually one of the fight choreographers in his team, so I would definitely give that a martial arts movie. And again, like the first one really is in depth with its martial arts. Like number two took it more like, oh well, now they're Super Saiyans, but
Right.
but like, and then like number three is like, oh wait, no, he's Jesus. But but number one really had a good foundation of martial arts. And Lawrence Fishburne, oh my gosh. Like Keanu Reeves like really, also made that movie what it was. Um but I think the grounding in it was fantastic. Some of the things that really like urged more of a modern taking of no, this is what martial arts is and can be. Just come to
Yeah,
the martial arts side. To lots of people who weren't used to martial arts at that time, they may have been sci-fi people, but now they're like, wow, people really fight like that in movies.
right.
Mm. So that's a great pick. It's actually one of my favorite movies of all time too. Again, just number one because the other ones were kind of downhill from there. But um, I really enjoyed that movie. Like it really brought something new to that entire genre, not just martial arts, but sci-fi.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it definitely brought a really unique storyline and a gift to us all.
Right. Like, what is one of your favorite moments in that movies? In any of them?
Well, you know what? I do tend to think of the first one as my favorite, but my favorite scenes, I think, I really like the last fight scene between Neo and all the Smiths
Oh
when
yeah.
it's when it's all raining and they're flying around hitting each other. I thought that was awesome, and I also like the fight scene between Neo and the Hundred Smiths when he's first starting to take over people.
Uh huh.
Um, I like those. I really like uh, I really like the final scene in the Matrix where he becomes the one,
Hmm.
and Smith is like, yeah, whatever, and he comes up and starts hitting him, and Neo is just like blocking like it's nothing now. That was
Right.
really
It's
cool.
like, yep, yep. That's fantastic. That's
Yeah,
actually one of my favorites too. Just like that coming realization, like mind over matter. That if he held himself back by his limitations. Of course, he'd never, get to that point to where he was the one, and all he had to do was believe in himself. That's
Right.
it. Like there's lots of, specifically with the Matrix movies, there's lots of stuff under the scenes, behind the scenes of like more psychological like pushing, for people if they watch it. Like there's lots of it in there.
I'll say something also about the Matrix. When I first watched that in the theater, they kept, they kept the basic plot a secret.
Yeah.
You kind of saw like the whole movie, like what was the Matrix? That was supposed to be it. What is the Matrix? And it was supposed to be this secret, and you knew there was martial arts in it, and these people that looked like secret agents or whatever, but you didn't really know what happened. When you first see that revelation, I gotta admit, I was kind of like, what? I just couldn't wrap my brain around it. And after I saw it again, and I knew what it was, I really appreciated it a lot more. And now it's become one of my favorite sci-fi movies. But it took me a minute to really wrap my brain around it. It's kind of like that. It's like I always talk about adding sci-fi into stuff and aliens, like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I couldn't get past that. But since this was an original idea,
Mm-hmm.
I think once I gave it a second chance and watched it again, I really enjoyed it.
And there's a segment of people out there that are like, no, we are in a simulation, that we are batteries for these things. They're still saying that to this day.
Hey, I can buy it. I really could. I mean, I know it seems out there, but especially after watching the Futurama episode where,
Right.
everyone goes, all the old people go and are, hooked up into that thing. It's,
I mean,
yeah.
could very well be. But a good choice. Good number 5 choice. Really good way to start us off. How about your number 4?
My number 4 is also part of the series, but I am in no way, shape, or form even considering adding the rest of these. Just
Okay.
the first one.
All right.
Mortal Kombat.
I mean, I'm not laughing because you're adding it. I'm laughing because you were right.
Yes.
Why would you want to add any more of the afterwards? So that's a very good choice. Mortal Kombat. Oh,
Yeah.
I saw that one in theaters myself.
I did too. Yeah, it was great, and I love the original game, and I remember playing that
Mhm.
on the Super Nintendo, and never played it on arcade, but I just love the rivalry they had with the the kind of mysticism and magic element with the martial arts. I love that. I love
Right.
it when they mix that into stuff. The only thing about that movie, that was what is sometimes when an ending is completely off the wall or stupid, it'll ruin a movie for me.
Sometimes, yeah.
This is one of those instances that I'm glad that didn't happen. The ending of that movie was retarded, where all of a sudden the main antagonist that we didn't know about, the Emperor, like pops out of the mountain
Yeah.
or whatever, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it just
But
comes
it
out of
really
nowhere.
was.
Like,
But if you stop the movie maybe 60 seconds before then, it's a really good fun movie.
it is. It's really really fantastic. Sort of like I wouldn't say like cerebral in any way. It's just fun. It's just like, oh well, Johnny Cage is obviously my favorite character, and he got the nut crunch in, which is my favorite move in Mortal Kombat ever. Like, why would you go through all the trouble if you're gonna hit somebody in the nuts? You're just gonna do a split first and then punch. Like that kind of makes it, like, yes, I'm going through this effort. Like, what the But
Another one of a good example of your practical effects in that with
Yeah.
Goro.
Goro,
I'm so glad they
puppeteering.
didn't- I'm so glad they didn't CGI him because
I don't think when it came out they were really handy with CGI at that point.
they weren't. But they still could. You're right, they weren't, but they were starting it, and
Yeah.
they really could have done that, and it would have sucked.
They would have done like the cell overlay, like the
Oh,
like
yeah.
like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. and stuff.
Hey now, Who Framed Roger Rabbit was
No, I'm not saying it's bad, but can you imagine a Mortal Kombat Goro in that cartoony style with everybody else? Like,
No,
Actually-
that would've been horrible.
No, I think that would be awesome. What are you talking about? That would be fantastic.
No, it wasn't, Brad. Maybe they were trying to make fun of it.
I mean, yeah,
Oh, that's right. You love parodies, don't you?
that's right. All right, good choice for number 4. Honestly, if it was up to me, I'd have probably flipped 4 and 5. But
Yeah. Well, this is my list, so.
it is. All right, what's your number 3?
My number 3 again. I'm adding the sequels. Just one sequel.
Just one
But
sequel.
it was
Okay.
the Kill Bill series.
Ooh, you get a round of applause for that one.
Thank you.
Honestly, very well done. Good choice, Kill Bill.
Yeah, great movies. Probably. Yeah, those are my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies.
I will humbly accept that statement.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, trust me, there are many good Quentin Tarantino movies, but I will gracefully give you Kill Bill as your top favorites and not say another word negatively about it.
They were just great. I'd never read the graphic novels. I know there was a lot of fans out there for it and stuff, but just the casting of that.
Yes.
Of course, Quentin Tarantino's great soundtrack
Ooh.
that he always does.
Mm-hmm.
So everything about the movie, and of course
The
martial
dialogue.
arts the dialogue.
Dialogue was
Martial arts in it
fantastic.
great. Yeah.
And David Carradine, oh my gosh, and he nailed it as Bill.
He really did.
Oh, pre-asphyxiation.
Yeah.
But
That's sad though.
it is. It is. Every time I think about David Carradine now, it reminds me of Bobcat Goldthwait, though.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie World's Greatest Dad?
No.
Oh, we're going to talk about that one later. Okay.
Is it a martial arts show?
No, it's not. But
But
that's
there's
it.
asphyxiation in it.
Yeah.
I see.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that later. If you guys want to hear about
great.
that movie, leave it in the comments. I'll talk about it too. It's a great movie.
Let's have our best audio asphyxiation movies.
That's right. There's just one. But good choice though, Kill Bill. Which one is your favorite one though? 1 or 2? Because they're both drastically different movies. Because remember, each
that's a really good
chapter
point.
is different.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I'd probably have to say the first one.
Okay. That last
Um,
battle in the first one with Lucy Liu and Uma
Yes.
Thurman. Oh my gosh. Her and the Uma Thurman, the Crazy 88s is like one of the greatest martial, sword fighting scenes of the modern era.
It was great.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, and like one of my favorite bits is talking about Oren Ishii in the anime style and her backlog. Like the art style was perfectly well done
Yes.
to commiserate that entire thought process of her character. And then the second movie when they talked about the Master, and the Master's just this old man, basically just screws with her the entire time until she finally becomes who she's supposed to be.
Right.
Oh, such good movie. And Michael Madsen goes out kind of like a, oh, good casting, good movie. Oh, again, Zach.
Thank you.
I was not expecting you to put that on your list, so I give you mad props. Kill Bill.
I appreciate that. Glad I could
Good.
impress you.
You did. All right, what's your number 2 though?
Okay. Another sequel movie, but I'm only going to add the first and second one.
Okay.
Rest of them, not that great. But this is by far the best one, the first one, Karate Kid.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll grant you that. 1 and 2 are exceptional.
Yeah.
Anything past that's kind of like they fell off. But specifically number 1, Karate Kid is again an iconic movie.
It's one of the quintessential 80s films.
Yes.
I grew up with it. Just love it. that '80s soundtrack. You know, the '80s bullies. You know, it's just everything about it was awesome.
And I mean, Pat Morita, like, have you ever, like, before he passed, did you ever actually hear him talk?
Oh yeah, like he's nothing like that character.
No, like he's not, like he doesn't have an Asian accent at all.
I know, I
it's
know,
so
right?
it's so odd, but I mean, like again, like iconic movie in itself because everybody knows like wax on and wax off,
Yeah,
wax on, wax off, and it's like, and I mean, people parodied it all over the place.
yes,
Like how are you gonna learn to fight kung fu by sweeping? Like, but you do, and waxing the car and painting the fit. And I mean, that's the kind of funny thing. And it was really like a lot of people's first, you know, like specifically 80s kids into martial arts in itself. Like, oh, well, karate. That's interesting. And then, the
right.
martial arts tournament. And, even though that was an illegal move at the end, he should have lost.
Oh, you mean what he did?
Yeah.
The crane kick?
Yep. That's an illegal move, an illegal face hit. But he won. They allowed him to win.
Well, maybe now it is, but
No,
in
back
the 80s it wasn't.
but it doesn't make the movie plausible if we say it was against it. So
Yeah.
But do you know the I think it was YouTube even YouTube Red, they started a TV series like almost like
The,
30-minute episodes.
the Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of it?
No, I haven't. I've heard it's really cool though. It has a really neat take on it. Like it's about uh, what's his name? The bully in the original film.
Oh,
he's
I don't. I
Oh,
don't
you don't know
remember his name either. Oh, I know Danny Caruso. That's the hero.
He's in it.
Yeah.
He's actually in it.
Yeah.
But it revolves around like the Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
And,
the little.
and like he's like the new sensei of that dojo.
Well, like that's a different take because it's a switched because Danny is now like this hot shot, like everybody loves him and he sells cars and he's still like, I'm the Karate Kid, blah blah blah, and like the other guy's like a washed out drunk now, just trying to find a more longing in himself, and finally like reinvents the Cobra Kai to be something and give people back, to where he understood like this is what the reason why I went to martial arts, and that's the whole frame of it. Like it reminds you that even the villains in our old '80s movies were just human beings.
Right.
They all sought something, and I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he was a terrible kid, but he felt connection, and that's kind of what the whole backing is that he's realizing as a grown person that that's what life is all about, is the connection that we get, and it's it's interesting and it's funny. It's actually really funny.
Yeah.
All right, so that was your number 2, right? 2.
Yeah.
All right, number 1. What is your number 1 martial arts movie?
My number 1 martial arts movie is more of, I think, of as a traditional martial arts movie, a foreign film. But it was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Ooh, yes, okay, yep. Chow Yun Fat. That's
Loved him. That was the first time I actually ever really saw him in anything. When I heard about it and went to see it at the theater, at the very first, I was disappointed because I don't like subtitles,
of course.
and that it was not English dubbed, and I was like, actually, my girlfriend at the time, we're dating. She wanted to see it. We went to see it, and we both looked at each other. And I was like, "What? Oh, come on!" And we looked, but the first fight scene came on, and I did not care. It was amazing, and the choreography in it was so beautiful, and the sets and the landscape around it was so pretty. Just a beautifully done film, and I love the story in it. I just loved everything about that movie, and it is my all-time favorite martial arts film.
Yeah. A very, really good choice. Did you ever get to see the sequel?
There's a sequel?
There's a sequel. It came out 2 years ago. Yeah. Just
Does it
as,
have all the people in it?
all the people who survived.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
What's it called?
Let me bring it up real
Not
quick.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2, because
No,
I would have known
no,
it.
no.
This must have been a straight to DVD thing.
Mm-mm. Sequel. Well, maybe there was a sequel, Sword of Destiny.
Okay, so that's a sequel to this.
Yes,
I did not know that. Have you seen it?
yes,
Was it good?
yes. It's fantastic.
Okay.
It was
I'll have to
great.
see that. No idea.
I was quite pleased with it. Like it kept the same feel. It was in the same universe. But it was like further along. It was a couple of years past.
So is it about what is it about the Jade Sword?
Yes.
Is it Sword of Destiny?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep.
I appreciate you telling me about that, Brad. I had no idea.
Yep. It's really, really good. Really good. I wouldn't say it's better than Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but it really holds the same feel to it, and you kind of fall back in love with it. Because the world is still there and everything. The fight scenes are fantastic and the same sort of like bounding sort of martial arts that they use in that too, you know.
Right.
So it really kind of feels very connected. But you should, it was on Netflix for a little while. But yeah, if anything, I can always find it for you. So you can.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Yeah.
can find,
Sword of Destiny. I take it has, I don't know her name, but I love her. The one that kind of played his.
Yes.
I guess it was his wife.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
I love. Yeah, she's great.
She's been great in almost anything that I've ever watched her in. Honestly, and she's been in lots of martial arts movies. Lots of them.
Yeah.
It's a good choice for number one. Good choice, Zach. I wasn't expecting you to pull out some really good movies there, so I'm giving you a round of applause because you deserve it for all of your choices.
Little thanks, Brad.
Well, I mean, honestly, there's lots of, you have a genre that you like, and I was not expecting that you would have any martial arts except for The Matrix in there. But I knew The Matrix was one of a movie that you would like, so
yeah.
So
well, thank you.
I apologize for springing the topic on you too late, but you showed up in flying colors. So, good job.
Appreciate it.
All right, so my number 5 is really hard. Okay? Because I am such, and I mean this, such a martial arts aficionado. I love so many martial arts movies that, condensing them down to 5
right.
is very difficult. And I mean that. Like, this is probably harder than comedies even, because like comedies, like there's certain ones I'm just like, yes, these are the ones that make me laugh the most. But like martial arts movies, I'm like to me, there's hardly any that like really skyrocket. And when they do, like those are like, great. But a lot of these, I'm going to have to give a lot of honorable mentions.
Okay.
All right. So I'll start off with my honorable mentions.
Sure.
All right. So, just so I don't have a, blah. I'll start off with Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. I know we've talked about that before. Great movie. Fantastic movie. I'm going to go from there to Jet Li's The One.
I have the one. I've seen one. Yeah.
Fantastic movie. I'm going to go with Chinese Connection. Bruce Lee. Fantastic.
I've never seen a Bruce Lee movie. All the respect you had for me about 5 seconds ago, is it lost now?
I can't breathe, Zach.
I've never seen a Bruce Lee movie.
What? Why? What is your problem?
I don't know. I have nothing against him. I've never seen one. I know he's like the master.
You've never seen like Enter the Dragon?
Never.
Wow.
All those sequels they made. What was the sequels, like the Fists of? What are they called?
I'm no, just.
Oh. You don't even want to talk about it.
No, I'm hurt now.
Oh,
I
I'm
really,
sorry.
I really am. Okay, but it's okay. I still love you.
Thanks.
Uh, John Wick. John Wick is a modern telling. It's not necessarily martial arts, but he uses a sort of um, gun fu, which is very martial arts heavy, while using a gun. Um, uh, the the One-Armed Swordsman. That's a
Never heard.
great movie. Oh, it's fantastic. Okay. But a lot of my top five now are predominantly Jet Li. Okay. I know it's kind of, you know, it's kind of sad that, but he's made some of the biggest um, martial arts films in a long time. He's really kind of
He had,
he's like one
I
of the
love,
big
I
names.
love him.
And on that chord, I've got him, like, some of my favorite ones are old Jet Li movies.
Yeah,
Okay. So without
I
further
loved him.
ado,
I, I loved him in Lethal Weapon 4. I thought he was amazing in that.
yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
So um, so honestly, in the end, this is kind of like a top five of my favorite Jet Li movies.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Like, I have many other martial arts movies. Yes, I can bring into this. That's great, but I don't think any of them really capitalize, you know, these specific movies, because I have many other, like Shogun Assassin, which we talked about earlier, which is fantastic. A collaboration of what's called Lone Wolf and Cub, a manga from a long time ago. Very visceral violence and everything. I loved all the old school spaghetti martial arts movies where,
Yeah.
like, just, like Kill Bill, where, like, you'd cut off a guy's arm and just, like, splash blood everywhere. The Five Deadly Venoms, which is fantastic. Any of the Jackie Chan's Drunken Masters, which are still some of my favorite movies of all time, which are my favorite Jackie Chan movies. Drunken Master, both of them, glorious movies. But in the end, I had to break down, and my top five is Jet Li movies.
Okay.
So, okay, number five, okay, is going to be Fearless.
I've seen Fearless too. I have Fearless.
Fearless is fantastic. I love the story, and it's one of my favorite ones that he's done. And, like, the meaning behind Fearless is so heavy almost. The scene in Fearless when he finally, like, he wakes up in that small rice paddy town,
Yeah.
and because she saves him,
Yeah.
and, like, he learns to help out and feel the connection with other people and the earth, and, like, and he notices, like, he's trying to, like, do everything really super fast because that's how his life has ever taught him, right? And then like, he notices, like, the wind like blows through the rice paddies and everybody just stops what they're doing and just, like, takes in the air. And he finally realizes, like, there's more than what I've been doing. And it's really heavy and it's so good. And it's like the fighting in it is just fantastic. Oh, great, great movie. Number four, my number four favorite Jet Li movie. Like, it was a toss up. Again, a lot of these martial arts movies are so good that it's hard for me to pinpoint the specific numbers. But I think I am going to go with Once Upon a Time in China. All three of them. Okay. They're 1991, like one of his
Yeah.
earliest movies. And it's really old school martial arts, like really old school martial arts. But everything's really cool. He uses his basic martial arts because, as we know, Jet Li was a actual martial arts champion before he was an actor. Like, literally, like one of the greatest martial artists in China before he became an actor. Do you ever see the movie Red Dragon?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know that scene where he's fighting that real big, tall black guy in that little like, I guess, pawn shop or whatever, right? And
Yes.
he's like a boxer, and there's that scene where it's like Jet Li's like kind of sitting there, and the black guy's like all up in his face, and he like jumps up and like smashes his face into the desk that he's at.
Right.
Well, if you look at if you watch the deleted scenes, the black guy basically says like, I didn't even know what was happening.
Like, he's just so fast.
Yeah, he's that fast, and that's
Right.
reality. That's Jet Li as a person. So quick. Like some of these movies back in the day, like the one that we talked about earlier, he created two different martial arts for those characters. Literally, if you watch it, the good version of him uses a more Tai Chi based martial arts. Of a flowing circle, and it shows it like he created the movements for that martial arts, and then the other one uses a more like straightforward punching martial arts, which he created again for that character, to show like the difference between a fluid, more like heavenly character towards the more evil character, and the differences between them.
So Jet Li he's basically recreated martial arts in a way and made his own style. Is that true?
In lots of cases, yes.
Yeah.
Like he can do that. Kind of like Bruce
Yeah.
Lee. A master martial arts, as Bruce Lee has said specifically, doesn't stick to one style. Because if you stick to one style, then all a person has to do is study your style and he can beat you. That was the whole thing with Jeet Kune Do. Like Jeet Kune Do took from so many styles that he was able to manipulate himself and his opponent to where nobody could understand. They said Bruce Lee was so fast that they had to slow down the camera just to catch his movements, which is
Yeah.
true. Like his kicks were so fast and so hard that by slowing down the camera, they were able to capture him actually in a fight scene. Did you ever see him perform, like you may not, probably not even, but on YouTube, they may still have it up there, him performing his 1-inch punch?
The only movies I've ever seen Jet Li in are the like I
Well,
said,
this is,
before, Hero and Fearless.
well, I kind of shifted over to Bruce Lee just to show you the difference between the two. Okay. Bruce Lee had a 1-inch punch, right?
Brad, I'm not sure what's going on. Your connection keeps freezing and hopping around a lot. I don't know if it's my connection or yours.
I mean, it could be either or. I mean, my internet's bad, your internet's bad, the world dies. But all they're going to see is that my face is cool and yours is the one freezing, so.
Well, I don't know. I'm hooked up to my same network and I'm sitting in the same place I always do. It's
Yeah,
better now. Okay, you're
right.
good now.
All right, it probably had a dip. All right, so that was my number 4, right? Was that my number 4?
Yes.
Okay, so my number 3, where is it at? I've got them here. Okay, number 3, Jet Li's Fist of Legend.
Have heard of it, never seen it.
One of his greatest martial arts film back in the day. Literally, there's a scene where he's a traditionalist Chinese martial arts in that's gone overseas to Japan to learn certain things. Well, he comes to find out that his master was killed, so he comes back to China only to find out that his master was killed by the Japanese military, and he seeks revenge.
On the whole military?
Pretty much on the people who killed his master, and ends up being like a big thing. Like
Yeah.
he pretty much he beats the big general, but it's such a cool movie. The fight scenes are fantastic. It's when he was at his perfect age where his speed was still there, and they had to slow down the movements of the camera for him. One of the most iconic fight scenes in that movie is he is surrounded by all these karate Japanese artists, and it's just him by himself, and he is whipping the hell out of all of them, and it's glorious. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like, and being like not even like nice about it, like breaking arms and legs, just like going because he's in such a rage. But the movie had such a great story. One of my favorite movies of all time, which I rewatch every once in a while. I mean, it's fantastic. So that was, what was that? That was number 3, right?
Yes, number 3.
Okay. Number 2, Tai Chi Master.
Never heard of that either.
Tai Chi Master. It was not one that was really like brought over here, like some like Fearless and stuff like that. But he it's a really good sort of revolutionary China piece, where he and a band of friends are trying to revolutionize China, because it's being, the government at the time, the emperor, is being awful, and he's being just hunted down. Him and his friends are being hunted down. And basically him and his friends get murdered because his best friend sides with the emperor and gets them all like killed except for him. He's all that's left. And like basically destroys his like hands, so he can't use his specific martial arts. And then he meets somebody who revives him to use Tai Chi because it's not traditional. And he becomes like, the master of it after a while. And it's glorious. And he comes to rise to power and tries to reach out to his best friend. It's like, look, I understand why you did this. I forgive you, but you have to stop. And there's huge battle, huge fight scene. And it's glorious. And it's one of those like bounding sort of martial arts where they're jumping really high and
Right.
and things like that. And it's,
Is this one of his first?
No, this is like not really first. Like it was mid '90s. Like Once Upon a China was like early '80s, honestly, like late '80s in that frame. And like Fearless was 2000.
Yeah.
So I mean, in between those two. Okay, and it was really fantastic. So, but my number 1 favorite Jet Li movie of all time.
Oh, you froze again. I'm missing your number 1. Don't.
I mean, you can still hear me, right? You can still hear me, right?
It's really spotty.
Oh, okay. Well, at least the viewers can hear me. So, it's, so my number 1, it's probably my internet. My fidelity has been rather crap lately for some reason. It's been going in and out.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault, unless it is your fault. But my number 1 martial arts movies of all time. Uh-oh. Did you freeze again? Can you hear me?
It's froze again.
Yep. I can hear you. Can you hear me, though?
I guess I'm fine. I won't be able to hear your number 1, though, when you're frozen.
And see, I can hear you.
Get it out.
All right. Well, I mean, you have your lovely face. Maybe you can come back and watch this end, because I can hear you just fine. I just can't see your face.
Fine. So just go ahead.
Okay. Number 1 is Hero.
Hero. Okay. Yeah, I got that.
Okay. Hero is my number 1 martial arts movie of all time. It is glorious in its storytelling. The colors are so...
Hero. I don't remember liking it that much, though. I think, you know what? I say I only saw 2. I have Hero. Yeah, Fearless and Hero. I have those 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, with what's her name? Oh, and
yes.
That was a Quentin. Yeah, that was a Quentin Tarantino Presents movie.
Yeah, he's the one who produced it to come over to the United States.
Yes. So glad he did.
Yes, it's one of my favorites, honestly. This, like, everything about the movie, like, begs artistic by nature. Just the color, like, if you notice it, like, because, I mean, the story's told in, like, 3 different segments from 3 different points of view, and each point of view is based on a different color. And so when they tell the story specifically, like, you can see the color representing each, like, almost chapter of when he's talking to the emperor, just to get closer. And I really loved that movie, the martial arts in it. And I mean, even at the very end of the movie, when they talk about like what is a warrior? A warrior trains for battle but hopes for peace. You know, and the whole thing
Right.
about like our land, the reunification of China, to put it as one whole country, not warring states. You know, to me, it's almost like the quintessential martial arts movie at a grand scale, artistic value.
Yeah.
You know, and literally, I could sit here for days talking about martial arts movies.
I
Like,
believe you.
I mean, honestly, um, I have so many, and old school too. Like I could bring up some old school, like the Flying Guillotine, old school.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know, but those are my top 5 Jet Li movies because really, if I really want to buckle down and watch martial arts movie, I would probably like pick these because they are my favorites. Other than that, like I have a long list of movies that yes, I'll watch all of them. They're
Right.
just they're not
You
ones.
like the Jean Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris movies like that. Just asking.
Yeah, yeah, you can keep asking. Kickboxer. Okay, Jean Claude Van Damme, the Kickboxer. That's it. That's his best movie.
What's that?
Kickboxer. Uh oh.
Kickboxer.
Yeah. That's it. Favorite Chuck Norris movie?
Oh,
Favorite Chuck Norris movie? Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, where Bruce Lee kicks his ass. That's it.
I liked Missing in Action, the Missing in Action movies with Chuck Norris.
All right.
I would not put them in this,
Yeah.
and even close to these, Jet Li and
Yeah.
Bruce Lee and Chow Yun Fat, but
No, I'll grant you, Chuck Norris, Walker, Texas Ranger is probably his best work. Great show, but yeah, that's pretty much about it. But all right, guys, those are our top martial arts movies. If you have a martial arts movie that you want to talk about, please put it in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going.
they won't.
I
They
mean,
won't, Brett. I don't know why you bothered asking them.
I mean, and, I mean that's a great segue. My lovely co-host here, Zach Washburn, has his own YouTube show called The Cynical Bastard, guys. It's fantastic. Okay?
I appreciate that, Brad. Thank you. Thanks for the plug.
I'm gonna actually put your YouTube page in the description of this YouTube video
Thank you.
so that people
Thank
can
you.
come see your Cynical Bastard stuff. It's just now
Yeah.
getting started, guys. So don't expect
Still got a lot on.
know,
Yeah, check out my stuff. I'm hoping to do some more. So
but I mean it's fantastic. If you love comedy and you love this beautiful face as much as I do and this lovely voice that makes your week so much better, go see it. Honestly.
you're too.
But all right, Zach, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes. Speaking of martial arts, support your arts because without the arts, the world would be even suckier than it is.
You have no idea. But all right, guys. And also make sure to be kind to each other. And we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Brad.